Today we're going to be looking at plate 10, which is an 18 tooth cutter. You're going to notice a couple of special things to this. First, we have a keyway, which is noted right here, 0.25 by 0.12. And then we have this 4 by 1 on a 2.75 diameter bolt circle. And basically what a bolt circle is it just means that they are evenly spaced on this circle. There's nothing odd about it. They're all equal. Sometimes you will get one that is offset just a little bit so that it registers this item in one given location, and that's it. We've got a couple of angles and in order to create this object here. And just so you guys know what an 18 tooth cutter is it's very similar to a saw blade that you would see on a table saw or a skill saw, like a hand saw, like a circular saw or a circle saw, some people call them. Skill saw is a brand name, but fairly easy drawing. Okay, it's a full scale drawing. So let's go ahead and get started here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to this view. I'm going to turn that UCS and that view cube off. I'm going to come up to my save as, and I want to go drawing. I'm going to save it in my location. Don't forget your correct location name. And let's see here, so let's go ahead and hit save. And then I'm going to do my WS autosave. My value of 1. If your toolbar is down here, you're more than welcome to move it up here, so that makes things a little easier for you. Let's go into our line command and draw a diagonal line right here. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and start drawing some circles. I need the midpoint right there. I want to have a diameter of 6. I'm going to hit spacebar, get back into this again. I want to have another diameter of 4.75. Spacebar again. Let's go diameter. And let's see here, this time we're going to go 0.5 and spacebar diameter 1. Oops, try it again. Circle here, D enter, 1 enter. Then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create that last circle. That needs to be on a diameter of 2.75. Perfect. Let's go ahead, come up to our layers, change this over to a centerline layer. That way we don't get confused on it. Now let's go back up here, just make sure that our layers is set for 0, which it is. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create this sawtooth here. Now you're going to look at it and you're going to go, well, Mr. Q, there's no dimension for this right here. And you're right, there isn't. But we have enough information here to create this tooth. And I'll show you how we're going to do it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a horizontal line. Simple as that. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create an angled line. So I'm going to come in here and I want this angled line to go down. So I'm going to go ahead and hit shift comma, which is my angle symbol, minus 20 and enter. You're going to notice I get a line that goes downward. Okay, so that's beautiful. Now next thing you're going to notice is right here it says from this point right here we're going straight 90 degrees up to that horizontal line. So that's easy. I can come over here to this intersecting point right here, go straight up and do a little trimming. Trim this here, here, there. Okay, I no longer need this angled line here. I don't need this here, and I don't need this here. I have now created part of my sawtooth. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use the array command. I'm going to come up here, polar array, select my items, right click. It's going to ask for my center point. There's my center point. Now I need to put my number of items, which happens to be 18. Click over here and click close. All right. So now we have our 18 tooth cutter. We're almost halfway done with this drawing. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to trim off. I still want to give this indication of this circle here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do this a little bit different. And we haven't used this yet, but we have a layer called def points. Now, def points is something kind of unique. And what it is it's a layer that exists, but it is not printed. Okay, so watch this. So if I go up here and I went to print, and then I go to, once it gets loaded here, just again, print. All right, and I go preview. Do you notice how that circle did not show up? This circle is kind of goofed up, so we're gonna have to fix that. But that's okay. Those are easy things. But it will, a def point will not allow a line that is considered to be a def point to be drawn or printed. So we can use it as a reference for ourselves. Okay. So there that is. So now let's go ahead and hit cancel on the print. And then what we're going to do is we're going to keep that circle there for now. Again, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come up here to this layers. I'm going to modify my layers here. Take my center layer. And I'm going to convert it over to a half scale layer. I'll close it out. Just breaks it down, makes it a little bit tighter, makes it a little cleaner, nicer looking. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, looking over here, I've got this big center mark. So let's go ahead and use the center mark command. And then let's pick this circle right here. So there it goes. There's our center mark. What I'd like to do is I'd like to change it so that it is on our centerline layer, just like that. Beautiful. And what we can do is we can actually do some properties on this, and we can make it look a little bit fancier. We can bring the scaling up to even more so that it's just solid lines. So I took it to a scale, if you look here, took it to a line type scale of 3. So it gives us a nice sharp indicator of what that is. Do you always have to do that? No. In this case, we're just doing it for clarity so that when we look at these intersecting points, we know exactly where they are. Next thing that we're going to do is go ahead and create these circles right here. And I want to make sure I'm on my 0 layer, which I am. Pick my center point, diameter 1, enter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the array command again. Select the item, and I can go polar array. Here's my center point. Number of items is 4 total. And close. Just like that. And last thing that we need to do is we need to create a keyway. So let's zoom in here. And it says that our keyway is the following. From here, over, it says it's 0.25. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the end midpoint here, slide it back over just like that. And then I'm going to use the offset command because it says that, actually I should not say that. Let me do this. Let me draw a line. And then let me take and move that line down just like that. Now, what I'm going to do is the trim command. I'm going to trim this line. Excuse me. Take here, just draw another line. Now I'm going to use the offset command, 0.12. And I'm going to take and offset that line up. That's pretty darn close for my guess. Let's use the trim command, trim that off. Not sure what I just hit there. Trim, right click. Get rid of that piece just like that. All right. Now what I'm going to do is delete both of those. And what I will do now is I'm going to take and use the move command. Grab this, right click. From here, slide it straight up. Use the copy command. Right click. Slide that object over like that. Use the trim command, right click. Trim off, Control Z. So something ain't happy over here. So let's figure out what happened. Draw a line straight across. Use my extend command, right click. There we go, trim that. Delete. Now I can trim. Right click. All right, so there we go. So there's our keyway. Now let's go ahead and start putting some dimensions in. So let's change our layer over to our dimension layer. And then we're going to go under annotate. And let's do all of our diameters first. So I've got one diameter here. We're going to place that. We've got space bar. Another diameter here. Space bar. Let's see here. This circle down here. Space bar. This circle here. Space bar. There's another circle. Do we need any other ones? I think that's it. Okay. Now, I could take and move this one if I need to. Why don't we move it down here so it's a little bit out of the way. And then this dimension here, we need to modify it. So let's double click on the dimension itself. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the delete key. I'm going to use 4x space, open bracket, close bracket, which is shift minus, shift, excuse me, not shift minus, shift comma, shift period. And that's your open bracket, close bracket. And then we're going to type in ON, percent C, gives us a diameter symbol, 2.75 BC. Simple as that. Okay. Now let's go ahead and we're going to create a leader line from here. Hit F8 so that goes at an angle. Bring it up here. And then I'm going to go ahead and type in the following. 0.25 space x space 0.12 space keyway. Make sure I spell it. All right, so now next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click on this dimension. We're going to see if we can get it to move. And all I'm doing is just clicking on, there's a little triangle. You see that triangle? Just click on that and that allows it to move. Click on this little line right here. Allows me to move the object up. So I'm just going to move that like that. I can click here and I can actually move that angle a little bit over. Click this little triangle, shrink that up a little bit. All right. And we're going to worry about this not fitting in just a little bit here. You're also going to notice that the text difference is really different on these two. So we're going to fix that too. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create our angular dimensions. And we're going to zoom in here, and I'm going to go from this point right here to right here. 90 degrees, and then I'm going to double click on it. Click on the after part, TYP. Uh-oh, lost it. So I'm going to do open bracket, close bracket, bring that back, hit the space bar. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to bring it out a little bit just to make it look a little cleaner. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is put a dimension. Let's see here. Oh, annotate. All right. We're going to do a dimension from here to here to here, just like that. All right. And then I got this dimension here. So what I should do is shrink this back to there like that. Come in here to the properties and find extension line 1. Let's turn that off. Bring that back to there, just like that. So we got 90 degrees typical, we got the 20 degrees, we got that dimension there. Over here, we got the 6, we got the 4, and we got that part there. Now, what I'm going to do is, to get this to be compliant, I'm going to hit minus and DIMSTYLE, and that's going to force in all the correct dimensions. And I'm just going to do all these for the heck of it, just in case I missed something here. All right. I don't know if that actually changed or not. Let me see here. Let's see if my text here, I might change that to 0.125 because that text editor, that minus dim style, did not work for me. So I just went in there, changed my height to 0.125, which is 1/8. And what I'm going to do now is come in here, change my title block. "18 tooth cutter scale 1 inch equals 1 inch." Let's get this here. Justify to length. Period 9. Click off. Put your date in there. And let's change our plate. And then you're going to do your save up here. Don't forget to do your export as a PDF. And then we'll hit save. And then what I like to always do is go ahead and open up that plot and just make sure that everything looks good on it. Once you have that all done, folks, you are good to go. All right. If you have any questions, please let your instructor know.